Welcome, saber enthusiasts. I'm Nick Nitro, and I am the Lord of the Crucible. Today we actually have the Crimson Dawn Emmisary, which we will be reviewing here. We saw the unboxing. I'll go ahead and put a link for that right up here. We saw that unboxing a little while ago. So, this is my first thin-neck lightsaber, and I'm kind of eager to test this thing out. I mean, look at that. Looks really, really nice. So, let's go through our usual review stuff here. First up is the balance point. So, let's go ahead and see where we're at. I do believe this is a mid-grade blade. And even considering that, that balance point is still kind of far forward. So what have we got? We are at about, wow, just over 2 inches in front of the emitter. That's a lot. And if it had been a heavy grade blade, it would have been even further. So for just about everything else, we don't need the blade in there. Let's go ahead and pull the blade out here. Now, I can't use the usual blade plug that I normally would use, because that is a very shallow socket. Look at that. And actually we can get our socket depth that way, and I think we'll do that in a moment. But for right now, I just happen to have a nice little blade plug from Defcon Bird. Looks really nice. And it fits. So we'll go ahead and use that. Meantime, let's go ahead and get the weight here. And that is going to be 12.65 ounces. And this is where things are going to start getting a little interesting for me. Doesn't seem to be an incredibly long saber, but it is a good 2.5 hander. Let's see how long we've actually got it here. Wow, that's nice. That comes in at almost exactly 11 inches. Now, I'm not a big fan of thin neck sabers from a strength point of view, and we'll find out how that handles in the Crucible. But also, from a spinning and grip perspective, I mean, that's really tight. I mean, when I've been spinning this recently, it hasn't been too bad, but it is a lot smaller than what I'm used to. So our minimum diameter, the smallest area on the hilt. And then here we are, this is what we want to see. Wow. That is 0.776 inches. So just over a little over 3/4 of an inch wide there. Okay, now the widest point, I'm thinking it's going to be either here at the flare or down here at this flare at the bottom. This is about 1.64 inches here. That's kind of a wide area. And I might see where you could possibly grip there, but I actually like having that flare down at the bottom because it does look like it'll serve to help stop the hand if you're slipping. Now up here, this is just under 2 inches wide. But I really don't see anyone grabbing all the way up here while they're spinning. So realistically, we're going to be measuring somewhere down here in the body. What I'm seeing here is that this section is about 1.3 inches in diameter, which isn't too bad. Up here, it's almost exactly the same diameter, and I think these little cutouts may have affected the measurement a little bit, but this is saying about 1.29 inches. But we're going to go with 1.3 inches for the maximum diameter of the whole saber. So here, we're going to start measuring our blade socket depth. That is shallow. The total depth of the blade socket is only 1 inch deep. I'm really not certain how well that's going to hold during the log chop. Now I like to measure the blade depth at the retention screw, which isn't going to be much different, but there we are. That is going to be about 5/8 of an inch. That is really shallow for gripping the blade. So let's try and have a look at the internal diameter of the blade socket, which actually feels kind of decent. I haven't been having any troubles trying to get a blade in or out of this, or a blade screw for that matter. That is reading as 1.001 inches. Alright, let's see what the actual blade diameter is. And that's coming in at 0.997 inches. So that's great. That means the blade base is actually smaller than the socket, so you're not going to have any issues with it not fitting. But it's not too loose that it's just going to slop around all over the place. So that's all the measurements that we're going to be doing here. Actually, it's not bad. I mean, it feels really good spinning it around. It has a decent speaker in it. Let's see if we can... And that is with it on the low sound setting. So I wanted to make certain I didn't overpower my microphones here. But I am going to do one thing here in preparation for the testing phase. And that is going to be, I'm going to add all of the blade retention screws that came with this. I've only got one in there right now, but it does have spots for 4 of them. And with as shallow as this is, I want to see if that's going to make a difference during the actual testing. I'll be honest, that log chop is kind of severe. I really don't know if it's going to survive that. And just the thinness of the neck in and of itself, we could be looking at a lot more damage than just, you know, the usual blade flying out. That whole neck being a hollow tube that's only a 3/4 inch outside diameter, not thinking it's going to survive all that well. But I've been surprised before, pleasantly so at that, so we'll see what happens. But there we go. That is all 4 retention screws. And it seems to be holding nice and tight. So, with that said, everything looks like we are set for the testing phase, and right now, I do like it. But come join us in the Crucible, and we'll see what it can really take.